All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel World of Wrestling here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite September 29th, 2021 review. This was actually a decent show, very fun to watch. I gotta say, this was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed this show compared to last week's show. Last week's show had a pay-per-view match that was outstanding. Rest of it was pretty much a normal, average Dynamite episode with the Women's Championship main eventing the show last week. That wasn't a bad match, but personally, I felt that the Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega should have been the main event of that show last week. It definitely would have been the best thing to do. I think the Women's Championship match would have set the tone in a good way and then led it into that matchup between Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega in the main event. And I think I already stated that last week, and I think that's the reason why the ratings was not exactly as good as I thought it would be. I thought they would go at a 1.5. Unfortunately, they went at a 1.2. This Dynamite, I think, probably is going to do better than a 1.2, maybe a 1.3. But this was a solid Dynamite episode. I think a lot of people would appreciate this episode very much. A lot of good storyline telling took place, and most importantly, there was good wrestling taking place during this episode. The main event had the TNT Championship on the line, with Miro defending the title against Sammy Guevara. Unfortunately, Sammy Guevara wins the title against Miro a little too soon to my liking. I thought Miro should have remained champion until next year in like January or something like that, or until the pay-per-view in February for the Revolution pay-per-view in 2022, but unfortunately that was not the case. Miro lost the championship to Sammy Guevara, and I stated Sammy Guevara should be the next champion in line. Well, they did that just a little too soon than what I projected. But yeah, Sammy Guevara, definitely a great win here tonight in this main event for this episode. I thought he did an excellent job with Miro. Miro, as usual, has been doing fantastic. Where they go from here with Miro, I'm not exactly sure. But there's a lot of heels that are very good champions. A lot of good heels that are good future world champions waiting in line to take the title, but Kenny Omega is the current heel champion, so more than likely we won't see anyone trying to take the title from a face champion until Hangman Page comes back from his kid being born and everything else, and he gets to spend some time with his family as well before he comes back. So in the meantime, we got Kenny Omega running ship for AEW. Now, as I've said before, I'll say it again. Adam Cole has been the real leader in my mind, the main eventer of Elite. He is really neck and neck with Kenny Omega, in my opinion. Personally, I feel that Adam Cole has the it factor to him that puts him over Kenny Omega in every way, shape, or form. He has great promo work. Kenny Omega's average. In-ring work, they're very evenly matched. Maybe Kenny Omega slightly over Adam Cole in that sense. Give him that much. But in all retrospect, he's got charisma, Adam Cole. Kenny Omega is kind of like a bland. He's one of those real-life type athlete type of look to him. You know, like a boxer or someone that doesn't have any real pizzazz, but it's great at what he does in the ring. At whatever he's doing, whether it's boxing, MMA, you want to look at it like that. That is what Kenny Omega is. He's a stale, vanilla flavor type of thing, but he gets the job done and he's very entertaining in the ring, what he does in the ring. Mic-wise, he's all right. He's not great. But Adam Cole's got the whole bit. He's got the he's got the in-ring work. He's got the personality, a great entrance. I mean, it's simplistic. It's, normal. It's nothing over the top insane, but it gets the job done and it's entertaining. Then he's got the in-ring work that he nails down pat, and my gosh, the guy is an amazing mic worker. He works on the mic very well. He's a great talker. He has great catchphrases. Kenny Omega's catchphrases aren't exactly all that great, except for the "I bid you good night" and good night and boom. That thing. That was cool in New Japan Wrestling, but he doesn't seem to do that here in AEW, which I don't understand why. It was a really cool catchphrase in New Japan, but he's not doing that here in AEW, which is kind of weird. I really do believe in future storylines, we are going to see a situation where we're going to see a battle over power of the elite for who's the leader of the team between Adam Cole and Kenny Omega. I guarantee you. It is written on the fucking wall. If you can't see that storyline-wise, you are a moron. You are not seeing the clear picture. These two guys are neck and neck for main event status. Kenny Omega being already main event status. Adam Cole has had main event status in NXT, Ring of Honor, but never at the platform of like an AEW or a WWE main roster type of situation. Not that WWE is going to give him a fucking main event type of situation anyway. They wanted to make him a manager and change his name. How stupid can you be? You have a future WrestleMania world champion, a fucking main eventer for WrestleMania headline your card, and you're going to tell him he's going to be a manager and change his name on top of it. Wow, what fucking retards. Thank goodness Adam Cole had enough brains to get the fuck out. He did not belong. He was not going to succeed anywhere with this company. And clearly, from what I've heard on the news and what I've read, it was a terrible situation that would have went nowhere for his career. He'd have been wasting his time. So, there you go. Anyway, let's get into the match card. We did have CM Punk on the commentary. He did not actually do anything special on this show. He didn't get attacked or have any face-to-face confrontation with anyone in a promo, which I thought was going to happen. I'll get into that at some point down the line with this entire show. So, first thing that took place was actually Adam Cole and Jungle Boy. This was an excellent match. This match could have been saved for Full Gear and have these two guys go at it in a really good grudge match. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. They just went right to it. Jungle Boy lost to Adam Cole. It was by a low blow. You never know. We could see a rematch here. You don't know. But personally, I think that the in-ring work these two guys did was outstanding. I mean, Jungle Boy is an amazing performer. He's done a lot of neat stuff in his matches. He's looked good in a lot of championship opportunities. He's faced Chris Jericho. He's done well with him. I mean, there's a lot of good things that this guy has done in AEW, single and tag team wrestling wise. I see him more successful in tag team wrestling for right now. Still, I do believe him and Luchasaurus deserve to be the tag team champions. I still say they should have beat the fucking Young Bucks for the tag team titles, but unfortunately, that was not the case. The Lucha Brothers won the tag team titles and are now the reigning defending tag team champions, which Andrade addressed his feelings on the tag team champions and made his attention or his presence felt about the whole situation on that, which I'll get into in just a few moments. But yeah, again, this was a excellent matchup. Very good work between these two guys. And again, I would definitely go for a rematch between these two because of how good it was. But I don't think really should. That's a WWE formula, which would be a really stupid idea. I think they should just move on from this and go to something else. Maybe come back to this later on down the road, maybe by next year or something like that, in a number one contendership stipulation type of deal. I think that would probably be the best option for them to go for a rematch between these two guys. So hopefully that might be the direction that they go with in the future. If not, oh well, this was a good match. End of story. So then after the match was over, we had the rest of the Elite come out. And Carl Anderson plays hype man. Cole gets on the mic. He told the world he was going to beat Jungle Boy, and that's just what he did. He's elite, and he's undefeated. Brandon Cutler tries to chime in, and Nick tells him to shut his trap, and they give the mic to Nakazawa, which was fucking weird. I don't even know what the hell they were doing, but they were chanting CM Punk. And these fans want to see CM Punk go up against someone that's got a big name and has been making it in the wrestling scene. They don't care if it's fucking Adam Cole, baby, or it's the full-blown prick MJF, which actually later on I thought that's where CM Punk and MJF are going to butt heads, but unfortunately that was not the case. Someone else came out. I'll reveal that once I get to that segment. So yeah, CM Punk was chanted throughout this entire segment. Kenny Omega gets on the mic. He says all sorts of utilities are blowing him up about last week's last week's match was the greatest match they've ever seen. And he goes, so what? He says Bryan didn't get the job done. He may have went ahead and got all his kicks in on his stomach, chest, and nailed him in the head with the knee, but at the end of the day, he never pinned his shoulders to the mat and defeated him. And that's all that matters to him, straight up. Bryan Danielson does come out, and he says, what do you say we have a rematch? And he goes, why in the hell would I give you a rematch? Why should I give you a rematch at all? You did not defeat me. You didn't even beat me. You didn't do nothing. It was a draw. There's no need for a rematch. And that was pretty much how he felt. So Bryan Danielson, he goes ahead and he says, all right, okay, I got you here. Well, then why don't I go ahead and face one of your cronies on your team? And he goes, whoa. Why don't I face one of your cronies on Rampage, he says. He goes, what? Wait, Rampage? You want to face one of us on Rampage? Like as if Rampage is the B show, which I thought was fucking hilarious. He's actually treating Rampage like it's a piece of shit show, like nobody should compete on that. And they're making fun of their own product. That was fucking hilarious, actually. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't want him to face anyone on the B show? Nobody on Rampage? And he goes, why the hell would you want to go ahead and face anyone from my team on Rampage when you could go ahead and face us right here tonight? And he goes, oh, okay. So Bryan Danielson wasn't buying into any of this. He figured it was a trap. So he said, all right, guys, I'm going to bring out some of my fellas, my friends, and have them come out here so we can have an even-on battle. And there you go. And he goes, wait, that's not part of the deal. And he runs out of the ring, and him and the rest of the Elite leave to avoid from having an actual full-on 5-on-5 fight, or whatever the amount is. And Tony Schiavone's like, what deal? What the hell's he talking about? There was no freaking deal. That was hilarious. I thought that was funny as shit. I was on the floor laughing from that shit. So yeah, later on on Rampage, it was later on tonight's episode, it was announced that Bryan Danielson will be facing one of the Young Bucks members. I think it was Matt Jackson. They will be probably headline. I would imagine they're being the main event of Rampage for this coming Friday, which I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to see Bryan Danielson in the middle of a ring on national television instead of having to pay. Well, I didn't have to pay anything to watch him on pay-per-view. I saw him for free on Dynamite last week. I totally forgot it was for free. Shit, man. I thought I paid for this shit last week. That was stupid of me. Whatever. Anyway, during that little promo also, when Kenny Omega said he didn't want to face Bryan Danielson kind of went WWE-ish on this whole promo, in my opinion. Maybe you guys might disagree with me, that's fine. But I kind of felt like he went WWE in the sense of like a TV 14 version, saying he has no balls. And the fans said, "You have no balls," or some shit like that. Omega has no balls. Omega has no balls. Yeah, something like that. That's what the fans were chanting. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Dude, man, you're like doing an adult version of what WWE make you say on television. What the fuck? What are you gonna do to Omega has no balls? Who gives a shit? Damn, man. That was fucked up. Anyway, moving on. Lee Johnson, Cody Rhodes versus Dante Martin and Matt Seidel. Dante Martin was excellent in this match. Every fucking week, this guy Dante Martin is on Dynamite and giving us a full-blown great performance. Whether he wins or loses, he's always doing outrageous things in the ring. Doing high flips, things that freaking Montez Ford would be jealous of, possibly. I mean, Montez Ford and this guy Dante Martin would be a fucking great match for these two to go one-on-one with, or even be a tag team for that matter. I think they would be great together, but he already has a brother he works with in Top Flight, but his brother's injured. I hope to see him back soon, because I did like them together. And I kind of was picturing them at one point down the line by next year of being tag team champions. Maybe I'm rushing a little too soon, but the way Dante Martin has been performing, and I've seen the way his brother wrestles in the ring as well, they are great performers. And I understand they're not like in-ring technicians. They're more like luchador wrestling type performers. But they do a great job, man. Unbelievable shit. Great stuff. But yeah, Dante Martin did some flips off the top rope that was unbelievable, picture perfect. Something Charlotte Flair ought to learn how to fucking do. I mean, I know she doesn't do any high, crazy ass flips off the fucking ropes, but I know she does that freaking moonsault off the top rope onto the floor, trying to connect with her opponent, but never really does a great job with it. She ought to speak to her future husband, Andrade, about that one, because he seems to know how to do those moves better than she can. Anyway, Cody Rhodes was getting a lot of boos in from this crowd tonight. I got to admit, this was actually very interesting, and they played right into the crowd's reaction. Cody was a little stunned by this, too. He was getting a little kind of, I guess you could say upset, maybe, but not like blowing his cool or anything like that. So him and Lee Johnson end up winning this match, and Lee Johnson's actually the one that gets the win for his team. Person he pinned was Dante. He got the pinfall with a fisherman's neck breaker to Dante, and he got the 1-2-3. Post-match, though, this was unfucking believable. Unbelievable segment after the match. This was great. This was unbelievable. This was something that needed to take place. I think I even stated this last week, that they needed to have Arn Anderson get pissed at Cody. And he did. He said clearly, after Cody stated he wants Malachi Black for a third time, Arn Anderson grabs the mic and he tells Cody to stop talking. Right now, just stop fucking talking. He said, Malachi Black is a freaking destroyer. He's a hunter. He's a predator. He takes what is his. He wants it. He goes after it. He went ahead and he said to Cody, look, man, you went ahead and faced Malachi Black and he destroyed you. You didn't even have an ounce of offense put into that match the first time around. He kicked me in the freaking head and knocked me silly, knocked me unconscious. You get your ass kicked, and then after the match, when you get your ass kicked, you're putting your boots in the middle of the ring? What the hell is that? I loved it. It was great. Arn Anderson, at this day and age, he's not even a performer, and he still got it. Is he, trying to build a storyline here. This was excellent work by Arn Anderson. Whoever came up with this idea, whether it was Cody, Tony Khan, whoever, or even Arn Anderson himself, this was great. This was excellent stuff here. This needs to happen. This is the turning point of Cody Rhodes' career, turning from babyface to heel. It's going to happen, folks. You don't believe me? You're crazy. Because the crowd reaction is getting under Cody's skin. We've been seeing for months, even with him being with Arn Anderson, him being TNT champion, he has shown signs, small little tiny signs here and there, where he could possibly turn heel. This is it. This is right here where he's going to turn heel at some point. It's not going to happen next week. I mean, this ain't WWE. This is not going to happen overnight. This is going to happen over the next couple of weeks. We are going to start seeing small changes to Cody, and we're going to start seeing Cody slowly but surely turn his back on the audience because the fans are booing him. And there's a good reason why they're booing him. He's too overexposed. He's doing too many things that are heel-like in the sense of his entrance. His entrance is over the top, too ridiculous. Even CM Punk himself, in his broadcasting position that he was in tonight, stated this. He said he must pay a fortune to do this entrance. And you know something? That is the funniest thing in the world. He is supposed to be a face, yet he gets over extravagant entrances that nobody else gets. Not even Adam Cole or the Elite get that kind of fucking treatment. So at the end of the day, when you really look at it, that's one of the reasons why the fans don't like him. He doesn't come through a tunnel, he comes through his own fucking special entrance. Now, if he did that just for a one-time only thing at a major pay-per-view, that's a little bit different. But when you're talking about week to week, this was what this guy does. He comes from underneath the fucking stage and comes up like as if he's Rey Mysterio being shot out of a cannon. Only he's not doing that. He's slowly being pulled up like as if he was the Undertaker at a WrestleMania show. So this stuff here was great. Let me, state the rest of what was stated because this was great stuff by Arn Anderson. I love this. So, he goes ahead and he says, not also do I know that he's a predator, Malachi Black is referring to, he knocked me unconscious, he kicked the shit out of Lee Johnson, and he kicked the shit out of my son Brock. And you get a second rematch. You have this guy beat, you're on the hunt, and you stop to check on me just because I fell? Dude, you shouldn't be worrying about me. You should be worrying about your opponent and get the win. Worry about me afterwards. Don't worry about me in the middle of something that you needed to get the big win on. This guy has destroyed you. You need to get your win back. And he went ahead and he used a metaphor here. He said, you're the kind of guy, Cody, look, you're the kind of guy that goes ahead and he'll sit in your car at a stoplight and some guy will come in and open up your door and say, I'm taking your car, get the hell out. And he goes, okay, just don't hurt me. And you get out and he drives off with your car. Me, on the other hand, when he does the same thing, I pull out my Glock and I point it directly in his fucking head and I say, you know what? If you don't get the hell away from my car, your brains are going to be splattered all over the concrete. That was fucking fucking great shit. So he goes ahead and he says, look, I don't want to coach you anymore. You're not the kind of guy I want to coach. I'd rather coach Lee Johnson. At least he listens to me. You don't freaking listen to anything I tell you. And then he walks off and Cody stands there by himself, befuddled, like, what the fuck just happened? It was great. It was fucking excellent stuff. I absolutely loved this segment 100%. Great stuff. So, next thing on the card was Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Darby Allin versus Anthony Green and Bear Country. This match was average at best. Nothing special here. Jon Moxley, since he's lost that world title and that major issue with that fucking exploding barbed wire match, he has done nothing special on this show at all. AEW has put him on the back burner. He has been nothing. He's been doing some good stuff here and there. He had a good match with a Japanese legend wrestler that was okay. But overall, storyline-wise, he has done nothing special in here. He's just placed on the card here and there just to get some airtime so people don't forget about him. But when it comes to important storyline building, they haven't done him any justice at all. I'd have to say that they've done some good things with him when he lost the championship for a little while, and then after the Young Bucks defeated him and Eddie Kingston for the tag team titles, they've kind of went to this wayside and really just been utilized and given some airtime here and there on the show just to get some matches put in and perform in front of a live crowd, but nothing special. Darby Allin, on the other hand, he has been doing a lot of good stuff, getting all kinds of different special matches that were built up into a pay-per-view match. He's been doing some good stuff on here. Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin pick up the victory with the duo combination of Moxley and Eddie Kingston hitting the Violent Clown double team for the finish, and that's how the match ends. Eddie goes out to the ringside and grabs a Brody Lee sign. This is the 1-year anniversary of passing of Brody Lee. God bless his soul. I hope he was able to spend time with his family and enjoyed his remaining years that he had, but I know for a fact he was not in very good health, and he was very sick from what I heard. I hope that the time that he did have left on in this world, that he had some kind of happiness before he passed on with his family. But I feel really bad for the guy, and I really feel bad for his son, because his son, I could tell he really loves his dad. I'm really close with my dad, and if I lost my dad, man, I wouldn't know what to do. Especially at a young age. Thankfully, he's still around to this day, and him and I are very close. So I'm glad he's still here with me, and yeah, let's move on from that. But yeah, anyway, Sting gets offered Anthony Green, who delivers a Scorpio Death Drop, and that's how that segment ends with that match. Ruby Soho promises the next time Britt sees her, she'll make her pay for costing her a shot at the Women's Championship. I hope this match does happen again. Somewhere down the line, I hope Ruby Soho gets the big victory. The only other thing that I could see that could top this storyline would be Thunder Rosa defeating Britt Baker. That's the only thing I could see would be the only thing I would go with outside of Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho has really impressed me with what she did with Britt Baker. I think the match they had at the last week's episode was excellent. I mean, it wasn't main event quality. It was a good mid-card co-main event type of match. It definitely was the second best match on the card. But bottom line, I just was really happy with Ruby Soho and getting an opportunity to really shine on a big stage like she did last week. I'm very happy for her. It was a long time coming, man. She didn't deserve what she got in WWE. I don't think anybody deserves what they get in WWE. I think they're mistreated and misused 100%. All right, next thing on the card was Matt Hardy's team with Private Party, Butcher and the Blade. There was a shitload of fucking people. This was a 16-man tag team match. This was a fucking shit match, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know how the fuck anyone could actually keep up with this shit. This was an overkill tag team matchup. It had Orange Cassidy and the Dark Order, the entire Dark Order for that matter, going up against Matt Hardy and the rest of his teams that he's got on his little business thing that he's got, that he manages and all that shit. Evil Uno turned on Stu Grayson for a while. He kind of left the ring, and all of a sudden, -1, that's Brody Lee's son, comes out. He throws a piece of paper at Evil Uno's head. I thought that was fucking great, man. I was on the floor laughing. He threw something at his head, and he said, "Get your ass back over there. Help this team out. We need to get a win here." Da-da-da-da. And eventually he listened. He said, "All right, fine." And he gets to the ring, and he gets in. I think Evil Uno is the one who... No, Stu Grayson picks up the victory for his team. They hit the fatality, and they walk away victorious with the Dark Order and Orange Cassidy as the victors. Post-match, all of Dark Order hug it out to a huge ovation. This is just to honor the life of Brody Lee, I believe. I think they're going to go right back to arguing and fighting again, which is eventually going to lead to Bray Wyatt. Whatever name he's going to go by in AEW, I don't know what that's going to be. I did enjoy the name Bray Wyatt. I think it was an excellent name for his character. Maybe he was able to, copyright the ability to use that name anywhere he goes. But I doubt it, because WWE's petty and they're really fucking assholes. As usual, you already know this. I am not pro WWE. Anyone that knows me will say that. I am not pro WWE. I shit on that fucking company every chance I get. I hear a bad review on YouTube from somebody else. I come on here and I shit all over it. You guys would know, you're subscribing to the fucking channel. We're already at 206. A couple of days ago, I was only at 201 or 202. So I already got 4 subscribers out of 1 or 2 videos I uploaded this past week. So, if the rants aren't working, I don't know what the fuck is. But apparently the rants do get you guys interested in subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate you guys subscribing. I hope you guys are also, the people that have subscribed on account of other videos they've watched, such as like these reviews for AEW. So, if you're not already subscribed, I'll just say it right now. I usually say it at the end. If you're not subscribed to the channel, folks, subscribe now while you're still watching this video. Because, bottom line, you're going to see these type of reviews every single week. Impact Wrestling, I understand you guys, any of you that are interested in Impact Wrestling reviews, I apologize. I've been really busy with work. I've been fucking just like every single day, been working overtime hours trying to keep up with my job and making, trying to earn a good profit on my check, my own check and everything to get bonuses. But other than that, guys, I try to stick exactly to my schedule. I know I didn't do a Retro Raw is War review or an Impact Wrestling review, but you definitely are going to get your AEW reviews from me. You'll get some rants about WWE. I know how you guys like that. And most importantly, I'm definitely going to try to do the review for SmackDown, because SmackDown is actually going to be an interesting one. How shitty this draft is going to be. I want to see it like fucking burn to the ground at this point. Or maybe surprise the hell out of me. Impress me. Entertain me. Give me something to talk positive about. I'd like to be able to do that. That'd be really neat. I have done that for SmackDown here and there. I have talked some positive things about SmackDown. But bottom line, we need to see something improve with WWE for me to even change my mind or say anything positive about this company anymore. This guy Vince McMahon needs to get his head out of his fucking ass. That's why EW exists. So, there you go. Anyway, we get a vignette from Lio Rush talking about money and making it on the stock market. It's evident he's unretired. Personally, I felt this was kind of weird in a sense, but hey, whatever's going to work for him is fine. Lio Rush is an excellent performer. He's got the talking down. I think he has a good promo work. I don't think he sounds like a fucking dumbass. He definitely he's a smooth talker, so I think he'll probably get over in promos. In-ring wise, he's very good, but his height is the big situation. I don't know if we could ever invest in a guy being a major world champion on this show, being as small as Lio Rush. I mean, unless he can convince me that he can make it with these other bigger guys. Now, these guys aren't like what Vince McMahon's looking for. I mean, come on. I can't be that fucking ridiculous on the guy. But I think he's qualified enough for a TNT championship run at some point. Maybe a world title, possibly. I mean, they do have guys like Darby Allin, who I'd like to see as world champion. Jungle Boy's another one. So maybe I'm kind of, judging him a little too much on the height situation. But he is a small guy. I think he's like 5'4". I'm taller than him, I think. He might be taller than me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's 5'8". If he's 5'8", now let me just check that out real quick, so I'm not just guessing here. Let's check out and see what he is at. Lio Rush. Okay. Lio Rush is 5'6". He's the same height as me. Okay. Sounds great. So, I guess at this point, I don't know what to say about that, but hey, you know what? Who gives a shit? The guy's an excellent performer, and if they can get it to work for him as world champion at some point, that's great. If not, he's a mid-card champion, no big deal. TNT Championship is not a bad title to hold. Tonight definitely proved that. FTR did make a small vignette video. They're talking about how they're gonna get themselves back on track, start getting a winning streak going. They know they've been under having a couple losses and they're on a downward slope and whatnot. So they have plans on improving and getting things better for themselves, and they plan on doing that real soon. Dan Lambert cut a excellent this guy Dan Lambert is unbelievable. He expressed interest both in Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. He feels both of them have the ability to become main eventers. I think they do too, to a certain extent. I think they're better off as a tag team right now based on this gimmick that they got going on with Dan Lambert. I think it's great stuff. They showed a highlight of Jorge Masvidal connecting with a running knee to the head, making Kenny Omega's running knee look pathetic. And yes, folks, I've seen Jorge Masvidal connect with a running knee in UFC, and man, that motherfucker can knock somebody out. He knocked one guy out in 10 seconds in the first round on a UFC Fight Night event. So, if you think his fucking knees look fake and they're shit, you're wrong. He can hurt you bad with those fucking running knee shots. But anyway, Scorpio tells the crowd to shut the hell up. He was one of the first champions here as a tag team champion, that is, not as a world champion. He's had one of the best winning percentages since day one. He grabbed the Sonic ring to become the face of the Revolution, but nothing happened. Dan Lambert saw it in him and Ethan Page. Page gets on the mic and say he's got it all, including top tits in the game, which I don't know why the fuck he would say that. Men don't have tits, women do. He should have said the best pectorials in the game. But, hey, you know what? Who gives a shit? He wants to say whatever the hell he wants, go ahead. You want to sound like you're a girl and you're really a guy? By all means, go ahead. So he just says, better watch out for the men of the year. Okay, great. Good stuff. Hikaru Shida is about to get her 50th win in AEW, but she's got to go through Serena Deeb. This should be a good match. Not that these women are highly, promoted, I would say. I think outside of Hikaru Shida's reign as women's champion, I don't think too many people really acknowledge her that much as a big deal. She doesn't have like a huge stock in professional wrestling outside of her run as world champion. Serena Deeb also had the NWA Women's Championship. So if you're not a real hardcore wrestling fan, you probably don't know too much about these two women, but I can promise you I can promise you that these two women will deliver on a good match. Now, storyline-wise, they haven't done a whole lot. NWA is really not that big of a deal in pro wrestling right now, especially since this COVID thing has hit the world. They have not been able to really push anything forward. They lost a lot of their talent, such as Eli Drake was one of the big names that they lost. So it is what it is. Next match on the card was The Bunny and Penelope Ford versus Tay Conte and Jamie and Jay. This match was nothing major. I didn't really care for this match all that much. This probably was the least entertaining match I've ever seen. Jade Cargill and Thunder Rosa will be, Nyla Rose actually will be competing in a three-way match. And then we're also getting Bryan Danielson against Matt Jackson, I believe, in a one-on-one match. Oh, it's Nick Jackson. Excuse me. I've been incorrect the whole entire time. It was Nick Jackson, not Matt Jackson. So then the main event was Sammy Guevara and Miro going one-on-one for the TNT Championship. Great stuff by both of these men. Back and forth. It was really close. Miro, though, I'd have to question his in-ring strategy here, the way they made him look. I think it was a little dumb to make him pull all the turnbuckles off in each of the corners. This eventually led to Fuego del Sol kind of distracting Miro. This felt a little like WWE-like type of booking at the end here. The rest of it was great, but this ending, not so much. I didn't really like the way they had Fuego del Sol interfering in this match and kind of distracting him. And he just throws him away like a piece of lint. And nothing more than that, but just a piece of garbage that nobody cares about. And then Sammy Guevara got some advantage over him. He used the turnbuckle to his advantage, leading to, I believe the move is called GTH, which is Go to Hell. And it's kind of a modified version of the GTS. Only he kind of has you upside down, flips you over, and then knees you in the face as you're coming down and meets his knee into the face. So that's basically what that ended up being, what he ended up doing here. Goes to the top rope and does a really good flip. And I think it's a 450 splash, connects with that. And then gets the 1, 2, 3 to end the matchup. And that's how the match went off the air, with him holding the title and celebrating with some confetti coming down. And that's it. That was your match. Excellent stuff. Good matchup overall. Very entertaining stuff by everybody on this show. Except for a few matches. I'd say 2 of them were shit. 1 of them was average. And the rest of the other matches were fucking entertaining as hell. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. They did an excellent job here. I really enjoyed everything that was on this card except for a few things, but nothing major, really stuck out at me like the show is trash or anything like that. This mostly was on point and where it needs to be a successful episode. So at this time, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, as I mentioned earlier in this review, and hit the like button. I've already stated that. What the fuck am I saying? And leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. And thanks very much for watching. Have a great night, guys, and I'm going to try to catch some sleep because I haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately. Anyway, speak to you later. Bye. Oh, yes, and folks, I did forget one other thing. I forgot to mention that MJF had that segment. I mentioned earlier in the show, the review about that, but I didn't really get into it, what took place. MJF kind of cut some really good stuff. He mentions that Tony Khan has been kind of looking down on him, not really giving him a shot for the world championship, except for that one time against Jon Moxley last year. And he goes ahead and he says, look, if I don't get a title shot at some point, I always got somebody I know from MLW on speed dial. His name is Bruce Pritchard. And he says, I know you're number 2 Khan around here, but referencing Nick Khan, which I completely thought was outrageously insane, he goes ahead and he's saying, you know, I've beaten a lot of young superstars that are in the pinnacle of the young stars that could become world champions, such as Jungle Boy. And he mentioned a few other names I forgot. He also mentioned Darby Allin. He didn't say anything about him beating him. And then Darby Allin showed up after he named off the 4 people, including himself. Darby Allin looks at him and says, you know what, man, how about you get in the ring with me? Something like along those lines. I don't remember word for word. And then MJF said, you know something, kid? You don't really want to do that. I've beaten the young bucks of this company. I am the best of the best, and I'm a future world champion. And he says, but hey, you know, I know that you're, you know, one of those, you're like a high school kid with the painting on your face. You got that goth look to you. You're like riding on your skateboard, a badass, all that good stuff, and yada, yada, yada. And he goes ahead and he says, I also know that you're a straight edge guy. You don't drink, smoke, any of that stuff. And I kind of know why. I know your story of when you were a kid, you happened to go in with your drunken ass uncle in the car while he was drunk, and you guys drove and got in a severe car accident. And you know something, the problem is the wrong person died in that car accident. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, don't go there. Don't go there. And Tony Schiavone is just sitting there dumbfounded. He had this sound in his voice like, are you serious? That's what he kind of sounded like. And Darby Allin shocked the hell out of me. He totally flipped the script on this whole entire storyline. Usually in a situation like that, somebody would actually go ahead and attack their opponent after saying something that horrendous. He went ahead and he said, you know, MJF, I know your thing here. I know what you're trying to go for. You're trying to break me down mentally. The problem is you're not going to do that. I'm not going to strike you. He grabbed his scarf, kind of fixed it on his shoulder and around his neck, and he's like, no worries, man. I'm not going to go ahead and attack you. That's not what I'm here to do. And you're not going to break me down mentally. So if you got some other better idea to break me down, go for it. And MJF looks at him without even using the microphone. He says, I can't break you down mentally? All right, if I can't break you down mentally, I'm just going to go. And he took him and Wardlow and they left. Darby Allin stood in the ring kind of like, all right, fine, whatever. But CM Punk did mention that it's kind of terrible to have a guy like Bruce Pritchard on speed dial, which I thought was fucking great. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, this was some really outrageous, raunchy, really below the belt comments MJF said. And I got to admit to you guys, this was fucking horrendous. Unbelievable stuff. He takes heel work and brings it to overdrive, man. He goes over the top with this shit. I don't know whether or not this is a real him talking or this is just his character that he's trying to portray on television, convincing people he's a prick, but he's really not in real life. And that could be a possibility too, because there's a lot of wrestlers that openly admit that the characters that they portray on television are not really themselves in real life. They kind of like put some characteristics into their character, but it's overinflated. And it's not really all them. It's more of them just trying to be something even more than what they are in real life. And that's what they try to do. I think MJF is just doing the exact same thing, only he's doing it at a different level, man. I may not like his in-ring work. I may think his in-ring work is a little bit, blandish. I mean, it's not, beautiful work. You're not going to get a 5 out of 5 star classic from the guy. You're going to get a pretty decent main event match from the dude. But when it comes to building a match leading into a pay-per-view match, the way he does these promos, unbelievable, man. Great stuff by this dude. And that was the one thing I forgot to mention. I apologize about that. Again, if you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. And as always, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And have a great night, guys. Bye.